No. All right. Well, then I'll turn it over to Josh to introduce today's program.
Yeah. So today our program is Gale Castillo. She was recommended to our club from our very own DEI committee. She's actually the first speaker that they've recommended to us. So she'll be sharing a program today on DEI. A little bit of background information on Gale. Gale is the president and co-owner of Cascade Centers, Inc., one of the largest privately held companies that provides employee assistant program services, staff development, and other well-being services globally. Cascade Centers has been recognized as one of the most innovative companies in Oregon and one of the top 10 healthiest small business employers. Gale is also the chair of the board of directors of the Hispanic Metropolitan Chamber. Gale previously served as the president and executive director of the Hispanic Chamber for over 20 years. She is one of the founders of the nonprofit that was established in 1994. The Hispanic Chamber is a local chapter of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber in Washington, D.C., and has a mission to work with all members of the community to increase the economic advancement of the Latino community in Oregon and Southwest Washington. The Hispanic Chamber, headquarters in Portland, Oregon, is the largest Hispanic chamber in the Northwest with over 800 members and the fifth largest chamber of any kind in Oregon. The programs include technical assistance to Latino and other small businesses, scholarships for Latino students statewide, a year-long Latino leadership program, and monthly membership luncheons and networking events. She has a very long list of awards and recognitions. Some of the most recent, in October of 2019, she was recognized by the Oregon Historical Society as one of the Oregon's history makers. In 2016, Congressman Earl Blumenauer recognized Ms. Castillo as at the annual Women's Leadership Luncheon for outstanding service. And in 2014, Ms. Castillo was presented with the Legacy Award for Lifetime Achievement from the Minority Enterprise Development Week by the Business Development Institute for playing an integral role in the progress of minority business development. As you can see, we're very fortunate to have Gale join us today. So if you can all please join me in welcoming Gale Castillo.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. And good afternoon to everyone. I'm always challenged, given this last year, with the requirement to do this via technology, because I'm challenged with technology. But anyway, we're going to give it our good try here. And I want to thank Court Carrier for reaching out to me to invite me here today. My mother's calling me on my phone. Oh my goodness. She's called twice now. She's used to me just picking up. Okay, so as mentioned, I am the president of Cascade Centers, Inc. For over 44 years, Cascade Center has supported business success by helping support the well-being of employees through counseling and other important services. Today, I'm going to focus on my work with the Hispanic Chamber, because that lends itself to the topic that you're interested in. Before I begin specifics about that, I want to share my background because I think that gives you some insight into my work. I'm originally not from Oregon. My mother was raised, the ones that's calling, I was raised by my mother who grew up along the Texas border. She has a 6th grade education. She picked cotton as a young girl, and she did not speak English well, nor did she speak Spanish well. She spoke what is called Tex-Mex, commonly referred to as Tex-Mex or Spanglish. So, and I give that background because given my current bio, I had one person say, "Oh, you come from a lot of money, don't you?" And I go, "No, no, I don't." But anyway, so my mother and I moved to Oakland, California for a new start when I was 4 years old. Oakland, as many of you may know, is the home of the Hells Angels and the Black Panthers. And I tell people that those people didn't scare me. The ones that scared me were the nuns in my Catholic elementary school. Oakland is a very diverse city. I grew up, again, this is the richness of my background. I grew up with Cuban refugees when they were arriving at the time. Mexicans, Mexican Americans, Puerto Ricans. My best friend was Chinese American. She lived with her mom and her two brothers above their grandparents' store. There were lots of African Americans, as a large percentage of African Americans, as well as first generation European Americans. So as a result of the mixture of people that I was surrounded by, that I enjoyed lots of great music, lots of great food, and many, many great cultures. So my last semester in high school, I attended Berkeley High. And I'm sharing this with you to point out opportunities or missed opportunities or misinformation. So two Chicano students called me out of the classroom and asked me if I was planning on going to college, because I've always been a good student, I've always had good grades, and I had college prep courses. And I said no, because I don't have any money, so I'm just going to go to work. They said, well, did your counselor tell you about financial aid, scholarships, grants, loans? I said no. So they said, meet us at 3:30 at the Chicano Student Union and we'll help you sign up for financial aid and help you apply for any school that you're interested in. So I applied and was accepted at UC Berkeley, Hayward State, and a small college in Oregon called Linfield College. I decided to get away from Oakland and attend Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon. The rest is history. 26 years ago, a group of us started the Hispanic Chamber. Then, like now, our community and frankly other communities were under attack, and they're still under attack, with very mean-spirited, dehumanizing labels. Like now, our Latino community was characterized as being illegal, that we were all illegal, that we were all criminals, that we were taking from the system, and all of our young people were being characterized as gangbangers, including my son when he was in high school. Today, as you know, Asians are under severe verbal and physical attack. So a group of us gathered because we were very upset. We were upset because many of us are business owners. Many of us work in the public and private sector. We all pay taxes. We have purchased homes. We purchase goods and services. We vote, and we serve on community boards and commissions that benefit all Oregonians. We knew at that time, and we still know today, that we had to change the image of our Latino community. We decided to start an organization that would focus on business, and given the disparity that was being launched against our young people, we wanted to recognize our outstanding youth. We affiliated with the U.S. Hispanic Chamber in Washington, D.C. to bring credibility and to leverage their national presence. Our mission, as was stated, is to support the economic advancement of Latinos in Oregon and Southwest Washington. We have helped thousands of businesses start and grow. And during the pandemic, we have helped them stay in business. We have helped over 1,000 students. Given my experience, I knew that there were a lot of students out there that didn't have the information they needed to go and continue their educational journey. So we have helped thousands of students pursue their dreams through almost $4 million in scholarships, and many of those scholarships are matched by educational institutions. We have helped train and support hundreds of Latinos to step into leadership positions in our community through our leadership development, a year-long leadership development program. Although I'm proud of all that we have done, we know that there is still a lot more to do. And I want to say that I've learned a lot from the experience that I have had over the years. working with a variety of communities. And I want to share some of that with you today. I've learned that we cannot create change alone. Relationships are important, such as the relationships that all of you have and that you have outside of your Rotary, probably more important. We cannot assume that people don't care, because they do. When we started, people stepped up and they said, we want to help. We need to listen to others and learn from others who are willing to share their knowledge and experience. We knew we don't know it all. We still don't know it all. But by bringing the knowledge of the group together, having people's input, we're doing better. We must reach out and find others who are willing to create change. We must understand the importance of trust. Trust is created by our actions, not our words. It's not enough to say you're going to do something. Show me. We must keep our word, because integrity is a leadership trait that will attract people to your cause and to my cause, to whatever cause that we're pursuing. Our experience of working with others has given me hope. Hope that we can overcome the intense hate that we see everywhere. There are those who want to divide us based on our race, our color, our ethnicity, our religion, our sex, our sexual preference, or any other characteristic that defines us. The fact of the matter, we all have the same needs, despite our differences. We have the same physical needs, the same mental needs, the same emotional needs. My mother's calling again. Sorry. We all care about our families, and we want to protect and shelter our children. We cannot let people divide us. Your organization has an important role to play. There are still people out there that see communities of color, and frankly, even women, as liabilities instead of assets. Many still do not recognize the value and the economic contributions that communities of color provide to our nation and to our state. For instance, there are 56 million Latinos in the US, or 17.6% of the national population. We have $688 billion in purchasing power. In Oregon, there are almost 500,000 Latinos, or 12% of the population. Latino purchasing power in Oregon is 5.4 billion. This is an important market that contributes to the economic well-being of our nation and our state. Workforce is another important issue that businesses face in our nation. As our economy recovers from the pandemic, we have a strong need to fill jobs. Latinos are important, and other communities of color are an important source of workers. 50% of all Latinos are working age. The average age of Latinos is 25 years old versus 44 years for non-Hispanic whites. Communities of color need to not only be part of the workforce, they need to be reflected in the boardroom and in the executive suite. In order to do this, we need more scholarships for students of color. We need more summer jobs for students of color. We need more management development programs so communities of color can be trained to move into mid-level management, and then eventually top level management. And the reason I say this part about management development, taking from someone from New York, a Latino or an African American or another person from New York, from Chicago, from Florida, the cultures there, if they grew up there, is quite different than Oregon, for good or for bad. Growing our own, I think, is a better way to approach opportunities for communities of color to move into management. Economic opportunities for everyone will stimulate our entire economy. It wasn't mentioned, but I also serve on the local Federal Reserve Board here in Portland that reports to San Francisco. The Federal Reserve Board estimates that if we could address the employment and educational inequity gaps, we could add almost $3 trillion in additional economic output each year. This is critical for our economic future and for our global competitiveness. We are wasting human capital. In addition to economic opportunities, we also need to solve serious problems together. By tackling a common problem together, we can learn how to trust each other and how to respect each other. I think it is time for us to lift our heads and ask ourselves, what do we want for our community? What is our vision? I'm interested that you're having your strategic planning session. A community where everyone is included in opportunities to learn, grow, and prosper without fear or judgment. A community where we nurture our children and teach them to respect all human beings. A Portland where we understand that everyone's participation in our workforce is important and we support their success, not through our words, but through our actions. Where we understand that there is dignity in self-sufficiency and despair when there is no economic opportunity. As business leaders, we need to focus on our vision for our community, focus on our commonalities, and focus on how we can work together to solve huge, complex problems. We need to be bold, be fearless, be persistent, and have a sense of urgency. We cannot wait for things to get better. We need to address our community brand. What is a brand? It is what people think of when they think of Oregon and our local communities. I want Oregon and our local communities to be known as caring, inclusive, effective, prosperous, innovative, risk-taking, and willing to do whatever it takes to make our community better for everyone. I want people to come here because they have hope for the future and are willing to pitch in to make living here better. Better schools where everyone excels. Better training for jobs we need now and in the future. Better opportunities to buy a house for your family because you have been trained for a job that pays well and you can afford a house. Better living conditions for all workers and their families. Better air, water, and land that is cherished by everyone. Better cooperation among employers, government, and community-based organizations to make things happen. I think we are in a huge struggle, a struggle for the hearts and minds of the people in our nation and in our state. Our values are being challenged. Focusing on our common needs will help us all move forward towards a better future. I look forward to continuing to work with all of you. And I want to thank you again for inviting me here.
Thank you, Gale. Do we have some questions for Gale? If you have a question, please take yourself off of mute.
Did we just lose her?
Well, you know what? I'm wondering if her mom called again and she took the call, it would disconnect her from the Zoom. That might be what happened, but well, thank you, Josh and Court for bringing us, I mean, what an inspiration and what a story. I'd like to see more representation of diversity in our club. And gosh, in the last 9 years since I've been a member, it's grown and changed a lot. I hope that it's a place that everyone feels that they are welcome and an equal part of this organization. Did anyone else have something to discuss or any comments?
Julie, I just want to share, she is such a wonderful lady, and I had the pleasure of working with her more than 20 years ago when I was at Mount Hood Community College. And she truly is a treasure for Oregon, and I was delighted that she was able to be with us. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to be running over personal.
I'm here.
Oh, she's back. She's back, Court.
We were just saying we wanted to thank you so much. I'm glad you're back, and there might be a few questions, so I'll pipe down and see if there are any that people would like to bring up.
I just want to say, Gale, the part of your speech that resonated with me is actually purposefully going out and finding the opportunities for our diverse candidates. I know that the school system, a lot of times will post a job and we may not get as many diverse candidates applying, but that's really part of the problem, right? Is that we actually need to go find the diverse candidates within our organization and begin to promote them. And so that's currently a lot of the work that we have going on right now, is just trying to promote from within and build more opportunities for our folks. And we have a lot of work to do. We're actually currently, we just presented to the board on this. We're second in the state in the hiring diverse candidates. Only Woodburn has a more diverse staff than we do, but we still have lots and lots of work. And we're really looking at these programs where we're building these administrative candidates from within. So that really resonated with me as you began to talk about how we begin to promote and provide opportunity. So thank you.
So you're with the school district, is that correct?
Correct.
So I've talked to people about this subject in just about every industry, banks and hospitals and school districts, et cetera, over the years. And again, like I mentioned, plucking someone at a high level and bringing them to Oregon sometimes works, but usually does not. For good or for bad, your local candidates, whoever they may be, know the pluses and minuses of being here. They have family, so they have purpose and roots to be here. So they're motivated to help make whatever opportunity you might offer work. And they're going to be grateful, and they're going to spread the word to their nieces and their nephews and their cousins and their brothers and their in-laws about how well they have done and the opportunities that have been presented to them. So I think it's a win-win to create opportunities internally, or even if it's not directly internally, to bring someone in and have a career ladder that they can move up to. So anyway, any other observation or comment about my all of my opinions? My husband says, "Is there anything you don't have an opinion on?" And I say, "Well, I can't think of anything, but maybe you can think of something." So any other comments about my long list of opinions?
I'm going to just unmute myself. Gale, thank you for your presentation. My office is actually in Cornelius, which I understand to be a minority majority city in Washington County. And I was struck by the fact that you said that you're affiliated or involved with the Federal Reserve. And I don't know if you are aware of this, but they've closed a bank here in town. And so we're down to one bank that's freestanding and one that's inside a grocery store and an ATM. And my experience as a small business owner is, and over the majority of my clients are Latinx, and they like to deal in cash.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm concerned as a citizen and as a business owner that we are losing our ability to go to a bank or have banking options that are viable for not just a Latinx demographic, but also for our aging demographic who still want to collect a paper check on the 3rd of every month from Social Security and cash it. I mean, the freestanding bank that's left in town has permanently closed the drive-through pre-COVID and never opened it. So now you've got everybody standing in line and standing out the door waiting to go in to get to the 2 tellers to cash a check or do any other banking transaction. So if you have access to anybody who actually listens at the Federal Reserve, I would like somebody from Suzanne Bonamici to Merkley or Wyden be aware that this might be a problem that's not being addressed by the free market in a way that's benefiting all citizens.
So Stacy Dotson, the president of US Bank, also serves on this board. So I'll communicate that concern to her. I don't know.
It's her bank. Her bank is the last bank standing.
Okay. So, you know, I can communicate to her, but the thing about Oregon is just about everybody is pretty accessible. I've learned that. You know, in some cities, some states, you can't ever talk to the mayor. You can't ever talk to the head of a US bank. You can't talk to the head of Wells Fargo. Here you can. You can pick up the phone. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share that. And if I could get someone to send me your contact information, I will share that with Stacy, please. And then, can you hear?
Are you able to read the chat?
Not on my little phone.
Then I'll have Court or somebody give it to you. But okay. You can call me.
I'd be happy to raise that. And what kind of business are you in?
Insurance.
Okay. Oh, is that state? What is that?
No, it's the other guys, farmers.
Farmers. Okay, great. No.
Gale, I can get you Janine's email.
Access to any services, it's always an issue, as you say, for communities of color, but also for, you know, I don't have any gray hair, but I'm up there. I pay a lot of money for this. But anyway, for seniors as well. So all of that, and for the disabled, of course. So accessibility of service is critical. So I will just share that with Stacy and share your contact information and see if she can get back to you. I can't promise, but I know her. She's a pretty good person. Did you have another question, sir? Did you have a question? No? Okay.
I'll jump in. Hi, Gale. It's
hi.
Hi. Just for the club to know, I actually benefited a lot from the work that Gale did with the Hispanic Chamber as I took the Hispanic Chamber leadership class, which really provided a lot of professional development, really helped jumpstart my career in higher education. And then when I decided to go back to get my master's degree, I was actually a scholarship recipient. And the Hispanic Chamber is one of the few scholarship providers that does provide scholarships for graduate students. And so because of that, I was able to return to get my master's with minimal debt. And so I'm so appreciative of the legacy that Gale has left behind and you know, continues. The work is still there, and the benefits to the rest of our community are just enormous. So thank you, Gale, for all your work and continuing to support our community to be represented.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Gale. Thank you so much. And you know, what an asset, you know, that organization is to, you know, the state of Oregon, really. And, you know, we can see from Anaceli that, you know, individually, has really mentored some, future leaders that are just now really having even more impact. So the ripple effect of starting that chamber and how many people it's reached and affected is really tremendous. So thank you for all of your work and for sharing that with us so that we're aware of it.
One last comment. We are, like you, we are a membership organization. So I would invite anyone who wants to know more about us is to look us up on the web and to become a member, because membership, as you know, supports the efforts of what we're doing and it demonstrates support. So thank you very much. Privilege to be here today. Thank you.